Good evening. This is Darla Tweeten, independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Iowa. And I am looking at my notebook right now to make sure that what you guys see on your end is what I would like you to see. Sometimes, you know, you may see my ceiling, sometimes you may see my mess, but let's make sure that I am in the screen right now. I know, yep, it looks good. It looks good. So there's a glare on my glasses on the screen, but that doesn't show on my phone. Maybe I need to move back a little bit further. I'm not sure. But anyway, I was trying to figure out how many lives I might have done. And I'm going to say this is my 10th live. So I'm going to say that, you know, I'm real inexperienced. It'll be fun to look back in a year or so to hopefully see lots of improvements. But anyway, the important part is that I am sharing with you my enjoyment of stamping with inks, papers, and stamps. So, like I said, if you're just joining me, this is Darla Tweeten, and I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Iowa. And I do come live every other Tuesday night at 8 o'clock. And I just happened to look up at the clock, and I am a little early. So that's always good to be early. So if you're catching me or, you know, watching the replay, I really appreciate you doing that. And if you would like or share my video with your friends, that helps promote my business. I am, you know, doing this as a business. I have a team of 7 people right now. So I just got a new recruit last Sunday. So anyway, it is my desire to coach people and to help them do what I do. If they want to make a business of it, I will help them give classes. I will help them in any way I can. Stampin' Up! Treats us so well. They believe in continuous education, and I am always learning, whether it be technology, if I'm learning the color wheel, maybe learning, you know, how to get along with another demonstrator, as far as teaching or showing them a new thing. They say, you know, we all learn in different ways. So that's why it's so nice to have a team of 7, because perhaps my way, there's a better way to teach somebody else. So I highly encourage you guys to join a class. I give in-person classes. Eventually, I will give online classes, but for right now, they're only in person at my home, and they're usually held the 3rd Friday of every month. I have a calendar on my website. You can check it out. I do prefer that stampers RSVP for my events. And the reason that is because there is some preparation and planning that goes into having a class. So out of respect, I will, you know, send you several reminders, and I will let you know when the RSVPs are closing. And I will especially let you know if for some reason the date of the event has to change for whatever reason. But pretty much I stick to the 3rd Friday of the month being a card class. I have started a second event the 4th Friday of each month, and that is called Simple Stamping. So that would be for the stamper that prefers a smaller group, maybe prefers, you know, a slower environment, or maybe, you know, just more one-on-one, whatever the request is, I'm here to fulfill it. I will eventually be adding scrapbooking to my classes. I was an avid scrapbooker at one time, and then I got into card making, so I've gotten really behind on my scrapbooking, but there is hope, because I have purchased about 4 Stampin' Up! Kits, and they're actually called the workshop kits. So not to bore you anymore about that, but just one more thing about those scrapbook kits. It is all inclusive. Everything you need is in there except for the photos. That would be your photos that you would need to print. So let's go ahead, and I am going to flip my camera around so that you can see my work surface. And I have a new little light that we're going to be playing with tonight. So I am going to flip my camera up. Close your eyes if you get dizzy. And then I am going to turn it down to my work surface. I'm going to raise the camera up just a little bit more so that you can see what I'm working on. So there again, I think that's pretty good. I'll have to just adjust my mat here just a little bit. So anyway, like I said earlier, this is Tweet Be Happy. I'm Darla Tweeten, independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Iowa. And tonight I am going to be showing you, good evening, Dolores. Nice that you joined us tonight. I'm going to be showing you a card that we actually made in my last class. That would have been in January 17th. My goodness, doesn't that just feel like a long time ago? But actually it wasn't. So this was a card that we made in class. And so I'm going to kind of show you what happens when you join one of my classes. You sign up and you register for a class. You will be, you know, I will tell you, you know, the stamp set that we're going to be using. And this is the terrific Toadstools. And that number is 164783. And this is a bundle, but that's not the bundle number. In order to get the, oops, I have my heart punches here. That's not what I want. This is the terrific Toadstool Builder Punch that you would want to buy. In my opinion, if I could tell you what to do, that would be what you would buy. And the bundle is 164789. And that is, nope, that's the Builder Punch. Okay, wipe that number out too. Okay, over here is the terrific Toadstool bundle, okay? And the proper number is 164790. And it is at a 10% discount, so the cost is $38.50 for both the stamp set and the Builder Punch. Okay. Now, if you look at this Builder Punch, or if you look at this stamp set, it is a photopolymer stamp set. I really like these kind, because they are transparent. You can see through them. You can see exactly where you are stamping. And since it has a punch with it, if I have any extra things that I've stamped, you can't really keep them with the punch, but so I keep them inside of this stamp set. Also tonight, what we're going to be using the free Saleabration paper, which is the Toadstool Gardens, and that is a 6x6 DSP. It's 48 sheets, and I have created this little sample for you guys and for me to look at just real closely, rather than having to, thumb through, the packages of paper to decide, perhaps which one I want to use. We can look, both of us can look on here and see that side A is the Toadstools and then side B is the greenery. A, B, A, B, A, B, A, B. So, so there is a great way to, watch or know which colors you are. Another thing that I've added is it will, hi Corey, hi monkeys. It will show you and me both that these are the colors of cardstock that you will need to put with this DSP, which is Early Espresso, Fresh Freesia, Granny Apple Green, Melon Mambo, Poppy Parade, or Pumpkin Pie. How do you like my light? Doesn't that just really show up great? I think it's working out well. So anyway, when you come to my class to make this card, what I will give you is a pre-cut kit, okay? And everything that we need, or everything you need to make this card, will be prepared for you. That's why it is very important to RSVP for me, okay? So we're going to begin this card by, this is the card base right here. It's going to be a thick white card base. We'll put that up here for right now. And our first thing we're going to do is we're going to stamp on this piece of white that is going to, go on top of the Granny Apple Green. So what we're going to do is, if we follow this example, these mushrooms are on some green grass. So let's pull out the stamp from the container, which is this stamp right here, and you will put that on an acrylic block. So you will want to make sure that it is straight, and that's why when you come to class, everybody has a placemat with lines on it. So then you can line up your stamp to make sure that things are straight. And there again, it doesn't have to be perfect. I make mistakes and I go with it. I tell my grandsons that there's no right or wrong way, that every card is different because it's handmade. So I have the photopolymer stamps on the acrylic block, and then here's my Granny Apple Green ink pad. So what I would like to do, I always tell people, be light-handed when you stamp. Don't be heavy-handed, because this ink pad is very juicy. So I tell them to stamp it in there lightly 3 times. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, so you can kind of look at it and see that it's, inked up. And then the reason we have this placemat that we stamp on is so that, it protects your work surface. And as you can see, when we stamped that, it went off the piece of paper, didn't it? But that's okay. That's exactly what we wanted it to do. Our work surface was protected. So we will close up this ink pad and put it back over here. And always recommend, closing up your ink pads, and then clean your stamps as you go. I know you think, oh, I'll remember that it's not, that it's still dirty. But believe me, you don't know how many times I've had, class people put the green into the red or something like that. And this is just a chamois. It just has water on it and no chemicals or anything. I keep it in a stamp case, so it's always ready to be used. So the next thing we're going to do is we are going to do our sentiment. And our sentiment tonight is popping up to say hi. And I have taken that off of the, out of the stamp pad. Let's put the grass back in here. One thing nice that Stampin' Up! Has done for us is they have an imprint on their case. So you can tell if you have a stamp that's missing or not. So you can see that I've got some stamps missing, don't I? But that's okay because they're all being used. Okay, what just happened to my popping up? Where did that go? Oh, here it is. Here it is, right there. Look, that's where it went. My goodness. So let's go ahead and put the Stampin' Up! On our block, using the lines to line it up. And we are going to use the Melon Mambo on this one. This is a real pretty bright color. So there again, make sure your surface is protected and stamp 3 times very lightly. 1, 2, 3. And then you will want to stamp, as close to the bottom as possible. And then that's, I could have inked that up a little bit more. It's kind of light, but I'm going to go with it because there's no way I could re-stamp that and have it be, perfect. It's perfect now, the way it is. Okay, so our next step is going to be to adhere the white to the green. And I have a silicone mat over here. I don't really need my mouse right now, do I? I can put that away. So when you use, I like the Seal Plus. That's my favorite adhesive. And if you have trouble getting your Seal Plus started, just run it on your silicone mat and it will work. It will start for you. So then you will then place this on the center of your green. Try to get it as centered as possible. And then our next step is going to be, now if you were at my class, you would be following along with me. You would be doing the steps after I did them. We would pass around like the stamps and the ink pad, and you would then, use it and then pass it to your neighbor. Now, remember, there's an A and a B. We're going to be using the B side today, but the A side would be kind of pretty too, but it might be kind of busy. So there again, it looks like we adhered the second layer. So we are now adhering the second layer onto the card base. So I'm looking at my screen. It looks like we have one person watching us. Thank you for watching me tonight. I hope you gain a tip or two, a tip or two from me. And it looks like it's on video. Of course, it would happen on video. This piece of cardstock should have been over a little bit more. I should have did a dry fit. I normally do a dry fit to make sure the paper fairy trimmed it right. That's one bad thing about Seal Plus is when you put it down, it's down for good. And I could probably trim this just a little bit. I may do that, or I may just leave it. It's okay the way it is. Okay, so we've got the card base, which is thick white, and then we have the DSP from the Toadstool Gardens, which is the free 6x6 paper with a $60 order right now. So if you remember right, the stamp set and the punch, that bundle was $38.50. So if you added some thick white cardstock, an ink pad, and maybe an adhesive, you would be at $60, a little over $60. and you would have enough to make plenty of cards. You would have everything you would need. So, well, almost everything. There's always something that you wished you would have had but don't have, like whether it be a ribbon, an embellishment, or something like that. Now, these are dimensionals that I am putting on here, and I like to take your pick tool, and I kind of take my nail and then just pick off the paper so the adhesive then shows, and it will stick better, or it will stick to the second layer. So this layer needs to go about in the center of the card, and I'm going to put it a little bit over to the left right now, more so than the right, because I'm not really sure what I'm going to do with this. I just had a great thought. I might actually tear this off very carefully, and then so a little bit of the white shows. So more of that to come. I'll let you guys see a picture of it if I decide to do that. Now, on here, I did have some ribbon. I didn't really care for the ribbon, so on this card, I did not do the ribbon. So, are you ready to stamp some toadstools? Are you ready to stamp and punch the toadstools? So, this is, when you come to my classes, I'm going to show you that this is just an extra piece of paper right now. It's what you're going to use to punch out the toadstools. There's going to be 3 of them and then 3 stems. So that will all come out of this little piece of paper. If I did not give people this little template, they would use way too much paper. So I'm trying to be conservative. So we will now begin to stamp the toadstools. So the first one, the big one, and oh, another thing I need to tell you is, believe me, I've learned it the hard way, that you need to look at your punch, because how you stamp your punches makes, or how you stamp your stamps makes a big difference for when you go to, punch them out. That's why I again show them this, because as you can see, if you didn't have them stamped just right, you would have a heck of a time punching them out. So a word from the wise, that's what we did there. So so the first stamp needs to be about right there, and we're going to use this as a template, which I love templates. So just go straight down and just hold it for a little bit so that the paper absorbs the ink. Okay, so that's the Melon Mambo one. So let's close up this ink pad right now, and our next one is going to be pumpkin pie. I really like pumpkin pie ink. So this is going to be a smaller toadstool now, and this one basically needs to be stamped upside down like the big one was. So you stamp it 3 times, and let's push this template back in here again, and then you just you go straight down and straight up, and there is the pumpkin pie one. Okay, so the last one we have left to punch, we're going to go ahead and punch these out right now, so that we don't, before we stamp the other things up here, because we wouldn't want to have to redo our work. So one of these things, the nice thing about this new punch is it punches fairly accurately. So you just push down, and there you come. And look at here. It even does a little stem for the mushroom. Isn't that? It's a toadstool, though. I keep calling them mushrooms. Okay, so we have a couple of things yet to stamp. So we've got the Melon Mambo, we've got the pumpkin pie, and fresh freesia. Where's my fresh freesia? Let me see here. I believe I'm going to get that stamp here. I don't have it out yet. And I'm going to get this one and this little one and this big one, okay? So we have plenty of blocks here. And so you're going to want to put these little stamps on little blocks. And I have lots of blocks, but then it seems like they always have stuff on them. But that's okay. I should have had these ready. But it's kind of fun for you guys to see what I do too. Now, this one, I need a bigger block, but I bet I can do, nope. You need to make sure that you get the right side that you're going to stamp. So you're going to, you're going to want to have the lines. And then one more stamp. These were the Valentine stamps that the boys, my grand boys and I did with the paper pumpkin kit this weekend. That's what the stamps were that I was taking off of there. So the stems we're going to do in the crumb cake. And then I need to step away and get my, hi Peggy, how are you tonight? Hope you enjoyed this beautiful weather today. It was really nice, wasn't it, out? Okay, I'm back with my fresh freesia. There again, in the stamping world, it's your world. You can make the toadstools any color you would like. So tonight we're gonna have, we're gonna do the pumpkin pie, the melon mambo, and then we will do the fresh freesia. Now, if you remember right, what we were doing, I try to put my tools away and keep my work surface as clean as possible. So if you remember right, this is our template that we're using. So we need to do the fresh freesia. 1, 2, 3. And then we need to stamp that over here. Okay. And then we will take the crumb cake. And my crumb cake is really kind of dry. I need to refill it. And I never think about it until I'm using it. But you can see it works, doesn't it? So then here is the baby stem. I'm going to put that up there. And we do not have dies for these. So what we're going to do is I am going to fussy cut them really fast. Okay? So that is that. I think we're done stamping for right now. And Stampin' Up! Has really good scissors that are very sharp. I am going to be using just a regular pair of scissors tonight. I don't mind fussy cutting. Do you guys mind fussy cutting? I find it very relaxing. It makes me remember when I used to cut paper dolls out of the Sears Roebuck catalog. That was how we went shopping. We would look through the catalog and then we would like make a house with all of our furniture in it. We would cut out the furniture, you know, the lamps and the, you know, the couches and the recliners. We would plan our wedding that way too. We would pick out a wedding dress we wanted, the shoes, the hat, everything. So as you can see, my template came in really handy, didn't it? So I try to, you know, share my tips with my class participants. Also, you can darn well bet that when I put this stamp set away tonight, I will put that template in there because of the way the stamps need to be punched or need to be stamped so that the punch, you know, is as efficient as possible and I don't waste a lot of paper. So this is the medium stem. And I have a little garbage can up here. And then look at this really tiny little one. That, you know, it doesn't take long to fussy cut, does it? Okay, let's put together the rest of our card. So these are our parts that we're going to use. And this will be, you know, we have our card base, which is the thick white. And then we have the DSP. And then we have the third layer is the granny apple. And then the fourth layer is the white. So the first thing we're going to do is we are going to, in following this pattern up here, the red one is glued down. All right, here it's flat. So we want it to go something like that. And then obviously the stem is flat. Well, all of the stems will be flat. So, and I did not know this, but I was reading that the stem of the toadstool is actually underneath of the toadstool. I would have put it underneath of the whole thing. So, but a real one isn't that way. So the fresh freesia one, that's going to go off to the side. We are going to put that on with a glue dot. Oh, I did different ones, didn't I? Okay. So this is, I don't know. I would assume that it goes like this. Okay. So then, who knows what glue dots are? Glue dots are exactly what they are. They're just a little drop of glue, but they're very easy to manage because, and then they raise it up just a little bit where when you do a dimensional, which is this right here, which is what we did earlier to put the granny apple green on top of the, you know, second card layer, it raises it up a little bit, so it kind of brings it to life. So I kind of have a predicament here where I have, this is going to be a short stem with a bigger toadstool. Remember, this is our card, and we can do it however we want. So, and then, so my fingers are really, my fingers are really big, and they kind of, with these little things. So isn't that just darling? So then I've already taken it off. So then this little toadstool would go right there. And it's raised up more than the other ones are. I think it turned out really good, didn't it? So then you can put some embellishments on it if you would like. I have some purple embellishments here. I am going to take your pick tool, and on one end of the take your pick tool is a putty, so you can actually slide this off and do that. Another thing I learned the other day is this sheet of gems, they're called the purple fine shimmer gems. Did you know, if you did not know what color you wanted, look at it's transparent and you can see through it if you want to use the real purple ones or if you want to use the darker ones. I just learned that the other day, and I think that is going to be really handy. So you always want to put your gems and your features, you want to put them on in odd numbers. So that's why there's 3 mushrooms, there's 3 gems. That's why it's just more pleasant to the eye. You do it in odd numbers. You also need to do that when you hang pictures in your home too. You do it in odd. Oh, thank you, Dolores. I'm glad you love my baby toadstool. Isn't that just cute? So, so this card is done. What do you guys think? Do you think you could make that card? I think you could too. I think you could too. A couple of other things that I want to share with you while I have your attention. Oh, and then obviously, you know, the party needs to continue inside. So if you have a strip of DSP, you could put that on the inside too. And since the card base is thick white, you don't need to, well, you could put in another, you know, layer of white. You could do that. So this is the card that we just made, and this is the card that I followed. So, I want to show you some other cards that I have made with this stamp set and this DSP. This is a fun fold card. It would sit up like this. So it looks like, what do you call that? Yeah. So, like a tent, for example, that would be a tent card. Isn't that just darling? So that would be another card that you could make. I will put all of these on my Tweet Be Happy page. And I don't do these kinds of cards very often. They're kind of fun to do that. But this is just a bunch of circles, and you could see, did some more toadstools, and then there's a little ladybug in there too. And another thing I learned the other day is that there is a ladybug that actually, when you stamp it, it will have black dots in it. So I need to probably try and redo this one so she's, you know, proper. She has black dots on her. So then this is just another great card that I did. There's some mini toadstools in there, and this is the Fresh Freesia, which is the free ribbon that you would get during Saleabration with a $60 order. So let's say, for example, you placed a $120 order. You could get 2 level 2 products, or you could get 1 level 2 product, which would be, you know, possibly a stamp set and a set of dies. And then also on this one, You Are Magical, I heat emboss that. So thank you, Dolores, for liking my tent fold card. I really appreciate that. And today I participated in Casing Tuesday, which is a Facebook group that they actually will go in and, you know, give us the measurements and things like that. So this is another card that I made with those darling toadstools. I didn't think I needed this bundle, but now that I've played with it, and the paper is just magnificent. So I'm gonna start kind of wrapping this up for right now. I want you to know that this is Darla Tweeten, independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Iowa. And I believe I said earlier, this was like, I'm going to call it live number 10 that I've done. And I have one more thing that I want to show you. I don't know if the grand boys are still on here or not, but the paper pumpkin for January had these cards in them. And last weekend, they were at my house. And one of my grandsons is 6, and the other one will be 5 in just a few days. They put together these cards. They know how to put on the dimensionals, and if you look real close at this one, they love to use the Wink of Stella. So these white hearts have Wink of Stella on them. So the only thing I really have to do for them is tie the bow. Otherwise, they do everything else. So this is another card that was in the kit. Some of it's already, pre-stamped, and then we just added, like the gold hearts and then this pink heart, and then stamped the sentiment and then tied the bow. And then here is another gorgeous one, which had the red heart on the card, and then we punched out the foil heart, and then stamped the sentiment. So aren't they just precious? And these are cards that the grand boys did, and they are, and here, look at these little hearts those are little shiny little hearts that came with the paper pumpkin kit too. So, and that refill is available now, and last I looked, it was still orderable. So that is hearts for you. So I appreciate your time. My next live will be in 2 weeks, which this is January 28th. So my next live will be February 11th. So until then, if you need a catalog or have questions about Saleabration does go until February 28th. We have a super join special right now. If there is, over $100 worth of products that you would like to order, consider joining my team. You can get a starter kit for $99, plus there's the bonus of 2 different sets of markers, and then an all-inclusive stamp set that is just for the new recruits. So this is Darla Tweeten at tweetbehappy. I'm happy to visit with you anytime about Stampin' Up!, about Saleabration. If you need a catalog, you know how to get a hold of me. So I'm going to close this out now, and I want you all to have a great rest of your evening. God bless.